something I don't know today. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Sunny, do you want to go next?
Okay. Morning, everyone. Um, yeah, my name is Sonny Bills, and I work also. I'm the head of media for BOP TV. I'm also I'm also into content. I'm a producer, and yeah, yeah. I was also say I'm a beginner in project management. Just started classes, but yeah, I think because I feel this will there's something to learn here, and I'm also here to support my my person, my my big friend. We're here to support her too. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sunny. Hi, Tim.
Hi, I'm Jojo.
Okay.
I'm learning the ropes of project management.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Test that week. I don't know who is behind it today.
Did I know your boss?
No,
No,
that's Judith.
that's Judith.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Hi.
My name is Judith Kichikpi. I'm joining as Test Afrique today. I do digital operations for a remote company basically. I also do manual QA sometimes. So yes, that's all about me. And I'm just hoping to learn something new today.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Oh, hi, Stephanie.
Right.
Right on time. We're doing introductions. So kindly introduce yourself, what you do.
Okay. Um. Okay. So my name is Stephanie, and I'm a social media manager
Hmm.
working at Posta. And
Working at where?
currently Posta.
Oh, okay.
So also I'm currently looking to go into the tech sector. So I do have the AWS certification,
Oh,
solution
nice.
architect certification,
Hmm.
and I'm just exploring into the project or product management sector.
Space.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's the
Okay. That's a nice one to have. I mean, yeah. Okay. So we just start the session. I'm going to share my screen. It's going to be very interactive. So you might think you know what's on my screen, and you might think you know what's coming, but you actually don't know what's coming. Yeah. So okay. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Please, can you see my screen? Okay, great. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Bill.
Okay. Michael, we're doing brief introductions before you came in, so you can also introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and then we go right into it.
Okay. Hmm. All right. So you just mentioned my first name, so I'll continue with the surname.
Okay.
I am Adoko Michael. Um, what am I even? I do a lot marketing, digital marketing. So I think that is enough. Thank you so much, Bill.
So I'll sell Michael out. He actually has he has a company that's taking mental health into the digital space called Tel Bonifa. And so it's I don't mean to relate it, but it's like better help. So if you want to speak to a counselor or you want to speak to a therapist and you don't want to do it face to face, you want to go online, Tell Monifa is your go to people. And he is part of the founding members of Tell Monifa. Yes. This is where you have to sell your business. So I'll sell it for you if you sell it. Okay.
Good Michael. Thank you.
Okay. So we are here to talk about product management and how PMs can be the architects of quality. So I'll start by sharing my experience, how I got into product management, and it was a very weird one. I didn't even know that I was even a product manager in the first place, and and everyone that knows me, I'm a Jesus girl, so definitely you hear prayer and all those things there. So it was something I was actually praying into, and I was like, I don't even know how it's going to get in that space, considering um the fact that considering the space I work in the ERP space, so I implement Oracle applications, and we happened to have a project, but I wasn't on that project because my I implement CX applications, and it's not CX is not really something that is really appreciated in our part of the world, and so it was quite a challenge for that company to even actually procure that software. So I was there one day, and then my boss calls me and he's like, "Oh, Pearl, there's a product that we are building from scratch, and I you would have to shadow one of our project managers because he has had expertise in building that application from scratch. So you have to shadow him, do the documentation, do the testing and everything." And I'm like, "Hey, wow." I knew what I was going to, but I don't think my company actually knew like the role of like a product manager or sort of. Okay, and it was, I mean, very gray area. I just prayed about it. It's like it's something that I just spoke about. I like I just those random prayers that you just say and then you're like, "Oh, I really wish I can be in this space." But I didn't look into it. I didn't read about it. I didn't know anything about it. So my journey, I had to learn the hard way. And today's session, I'm going to share some of the mistakes I made, how I corrected them, and how it's going for me. So it's not going to be very theoretical. It's going to be very practical and very experience based. So what are we trying to do today? We want to shift from the mindset of trying to ship out um, softwares or trying to ship out products without actually shipping out products of value. Okay. Sometimes we are just shipping out products because, okay, we want this thing to go out, we want people to know about the product, we want people to start using the product, but it's a lot of things. You have to do your research as a PM. You would have to um, you are in the intersection of the user and then the developers and all the other people on your team. And so your role is more of like the CEO of the product. Okay. And so you should um ship out value, not just, okay, we just want this to go out. You should be able to balance the market value. You should be able to balance what your users want. You should be able to also balance the quality of the product that you are taking out. And that's like a very huge tax and a very rigorous tax. Okay. And so what we are talking about today is that we should be that architect. And you have to start from the beginning. It's not maybe in the middle of you going live, or maybe a month for you to go live, and then now you're now coming to correct the mistakes that you have done, which I have done. But we are here to correct that. Okay. So any questions at this point before I move on? As I said, it's going to be a very interactive session today. Okay.
Sorry,
Okay. If there are no questions, I'm moving on.
there are questions. I have a question,
Okay,
please.
sure, please.
Yes. So when you mentioned that you were given the role to shadow someone,
Mm-hmm.
so did you have like a soft skill, or did you have anything that could help you, like anything that made you be able to manage the role you were given?
Okay. Um, as at that time when I was given the role, um, I had no, I was still working on a project where I was implementing sales and service, that is customer sales and service applications. Okay, and then I was the lead implementer for that project. And so what I carried with me was my leadership skills in terms of that project, customer interaction, how to listen to customers, uh, I mean product requirements. So um, software development cycle, it will go through requirement gathering. You do like a conference room piloting, maybe 2 or 3 times. You do training. You do um, a user acceptance test, and then you go live. Okay, so that experience. That is what I carried into the role. I carried in documentations, so how to do proper documentations, and I must say that's one of the things I'm very good at. So documentation, and I think that was one of the things that actually um, made my supervisor, my boss, put me in that role because I was very good with documentations. And so I was supposed to shadow. So what happened? I was supposed to shadow the project manager because he was going to take the lead, and then I would just maybe shadow and just do documentations and all that. But it turns out that this project manager had to leave the company. Okay, and now he didn't really leave, but I mean he got a different assignment, and so out of the country, and so now I'm the one in the country. I have to interface with the customer. I had to lead the project, basically that particular project, and so yes, it was like a very gray area, but I carried the skills that I had from implementing previous Oracle applications that um, into that space. Please, have I answered your question? Regina.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Please, any more questions before I move on? Okay. So, one of the key mistakes we make is um, we don't do proper requirement gathering documentation um, as PMs. That's one of the mistakes we do. Okay. We feel like, okay, we've just got the product requirement documentation and everything. But I believe in something I had to learn the hard way. If you don't define it, you can't defend it. So starting up with the role, I because I was just handed the role. I didn't know anything about it. I just felt like, okay, maybe the requirements that the client had given me, I just need to pass it on to the developers and then they'll do their thing. My assumption was that, okay, they understand the process, they've done it before, and so maybe they can be able to do it. But as time went on, I just realized that no, if I have to build a certain part of the if a certain feature of the system had to be built, I really had to define the acceptance criteria for that feature. So in the acceptance criteria or in that requirement document, I should put what the system should be able to do to be able to pass um, um, that requirement. Okay. So now let me give an example. If you put in a button to make payments, or maybe you are integrating two systems, okay, you should make sure that there be two payment systems. So I would use Oracle terms. There's Fusion and then there's Apex. Okay. If you want an invoice to transfer to be created in Fusion, okay, you would have to make sure that the integration is working for the invoice to be created in Fusion. We are all tech people here, so I'm going to use tech terms. Now, you have to create the acceptance criteria such that in your requirement document, it is not just the system should be able to create an invoice in Fusion. No, you should be detailed enough to say that, okay, at the click of the button, I should be able to see the invoice number, the invoice details, the amount and everything. That is the acceptance criteria. So you have to give the developer the blueprint of what you want to see, not just the requirement document for them to just go and make it work. Or you come back and be talking. You go back and forth on that on that product, and now you make the work difficult for the tester. So in my case, I had to be the tester and even the product manager at the same time. So you can imagine how difficult my work has been over the years. And so one thing I decided to do going forward when we are creating a new feature on the system is I'm going to have a blueprint. Okay. And it starts with the product requirement documents. Once the user gives me the requirement documents, I'm going to give clear user stories to translate into business objectives that can relate into testable requirements. That also helps the tester to create better test scripts. Okay. So the acceptance criteria has to be specific. The conditions of satisfaction has to be there. It should be in that requirement or that product requirement document. That also helps the developer. So you have to be very detailed. If there are certain fields you want to see in in that feature, sometimes some teams, maybe you might have a UI UX designer and all that, but sometimes you are the UI UX designer, you are the product manager, you are the tester. And in my case, that's how it was. So I had to be very, very specific about the acceptance criteria, the conditions that it had to meet. Now, in the events where you have all these other people in your team, you have the UI UX designer, you have the tester, and all these other people, then your acceptance criteria should be specific with the details that you want them to have. So maybe you are telling the UI UX designer that, okay, it should have this field, this field, this field, this field, this field. It should be able to meet this requirement. Then they are able to develop the UI. Then the developer picks that same documents and is okay. The UI UX designer has done this and this and this. They are able to translate and then write code to be able to fit that acceptance criteria. So your conditions of satisfaction should always be there. Now, how do you make the testers work easy? Now, when you are writing a strong acceptance criteria, it allows you to pre-test the logic of a feature before even the code is written. So you've tested it, you're expecting that, okay, it should work like this. You've made it clear to the developer that, okay, this should work like this. The tester doesn't now go and be defending themselves that, oh, but it's supposed to work like this. Developers and testers, they'll always fight. So you as a PM, your product requirement documents should be able to bridge that gap of testers and developers fighting all the time. That's another thing. So if you don't define it well, I'm sorry, you will not be able to defend it. Are there any questions here before we move to the next stage? Any suggestions, any experience we want to share? Okay, Michael.
Right. So I'm actually asking about, just like you said, being a CEO for the users and the developers. Must a PM, project manager, must you have, I mean, background skills of an IT? Should you have an IT background, or should you have a programming skills before maybe you can go on as a PM manager or something?
Okay.
Because it's like, yeah, you must define it very well for for the programmers to
Mhm.
develop it to suit the user's preferences, right?
Yeah.
So must you have that skills before maybe you can become a PM?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So there are different types of PMs. I don't know if you know about that. I mean, depending on the space that you are in. But for us, we are in the tech space. And so yes, having tech knowledge is going to go a long way to be able to help you as a PM. Okay. Um Let me give an example. If you have to build a system, okay, you need to understand what goes into the system, because um if the client hands you the user requirements, okay, some clients actually um don't even understand. Maybe if you are working even in the freelance space, not maybe in the very corporate, not maybe in the very structured corporate organizations where they would go document, they would do documentations and all that. If you are working for a freelancer, maybe someone comes to you, oh, I want you to build a website for me. Okay, you as a PM, you should be able to understand what goes into the website, because you are going to define the documentation for the other team members. You are the intersection between the user and then the developers. So you should understand technical language to be able to put those documentations together. So yes, it's if you are in the tech space, it's a must for you to understand um, um, how do you call it, for you to have tech language. I I for one, I did IT in school. I At some point I was programming and everything, and I just realized that no, I don't like it. It's not for me. I like the very theoretical. Yes, I'll be honest with you. I have my mentors here. Yes, I just realized that no, it's not every techie that is a programmer. Do you understand? But I understand programming languages. If you come and you tell me, oh, I need to define an object, classes, all those things, because I have done it before, I understand. If you have to integrate integrations, you tell a API, I need the APIs and everything. I should be able to understand it to be able to communicate with each team member. Mind you, I am as a PM, you are the force that puts the team together. Okay, and so if you don't understand tech language, then I mean you've dismantled the team. And so it's one of the things that if you don't have, I think you should invest in. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Well understood. Um, is PM different from QA, quality assurance, different from product management?
Oh yes, it is big time.
Okay. What's the difference?
Okay, so as a product manager, you are I would say you are more of like um you are the main brain behind the product. Okay. Product managers do research. You do research, you create user stories, you create you put the teams together. In some organizations, when they are recruiting other people to work on the projects, in project management, you are the product owner. Okay, and so your voice is actually um, uh, like a key place in the, like you are more of like the CEO of the product. Okay, you control what is going to go out. You are shipping. The QA is supposed to test the product. It's supposed to make sure that it's meeting industry standards. It's able to make sure that you are security is in check. Everything is in check. You are not how would I say, you are not bridging uh, you are not harming the user based on your user requirements. Okay, you are not harming the user, or the user is still able to use the application, is still able to go through with the application. Okay, but for PM, you are torn between the marketing the marketing parts of the business part of the product, the marketing part of the product. You are working with other teams, UI UX and everything. You're trying to make sure that everything is going on in place. If you have to ship a product, you should make sure that, okay, the time you are shipping the product, it should give you market value and everything. The QA does not have to think about that. His own is to make sure that the software is okay, is working fine, is working based on the product requirements that you have given them. Yes, so that's the difference. But we work hand in hand.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Please, any more questions? Okay, so we'll move to the next slide. No surprises. Okay, we are talking about how to build quality products. Okay, and so you should, as a PM, you should always keep your team in sync. Okay, you should have daily scrums or weekly syncs to understand the current health of what you are building, and to remove the blockers immediately. Okay, if you wait, I mean, one of the things I do right now is I'm constantly in the application. Mind you, I I serve as a role of a tester and a PM at the same time. So I'm constantly in the application because I don't want a situation where I would have to meet the clients and then I have like any deadlocks, or we have to go live and then there's any deadlock. So what I did is I scheduled a meeting every day at 3 p.m. for us to meet as a team. So it's there in my calendar, in everyone's calendar, knowing that we can meet at any time, or on any day, to know what's going on. So that's what we've done, like as a team. So if I want to meet them, I tell them, guys, we have to meet today. I'm not liking what's going on. I bring the team together, we remove the blockers, and then we move on to the next stage. So we don't move into the next stage with things that we feel like should have been solved maybe right from the beginning. Okay. So that's one of the things that we do. We are always testing. We are always testing. We didn't start testing from maybe in the middle of the project. No. I think one of the things that we did very well is we started testing right from the inception. We engage the customer right from the inception. So we give them access to the system. So our customer is actually a corporate body. Okay, it's not the users that maybe you have to do better testing, or and all that. But we engage the customer right from the testing, right from inception. So we are making sure that we are meeting their requirements, they are in sync of what's going on. We are rolling out in stages. So those are that's the sync that I'm talking about. Your customers, your users, your team, everybody should be in sync to be able to um know the current health of whatever you are building and to remove blockers as soon as they are seen. So we have some developers on a standby that when maybe small bugs are seen, they fix them immediately. Yeah, so that's one of the things that we've done. So we have like main developers and we have developers that work on the bags, that. So that's about the sync. And then another thing is, please don't settle for just pass and fail metrics. We always maintain a healthy dashboard that reflects the current health of our application. So that's one of the things that we also do. So we are moving beyond the number of issues, but we are always, we are seeing the number. We have like a dashboard. Okay, this is not is not just pass and fail, but this can roll out. We can fix this at this time. Maybe this will not affect this rollouts that we are doing and all that. So that's one of the things that we also do. And then the information hub. So as a PM, you have to act as a bridge by providing testers and developers with the business context so that they understand the user interaction. Um, my boss, Mr. Ebo, I don't know. I think some of you have met him. When you come to him and maybe you have an issue and you are speaking technical language, he'll tell you the client does not know your IT. He wants to speak business. So everybody in my company is actually being trained to have business acumen. Okay. So even you as a developer, when you go and you speak to the clients, maybe in my absence, you should be able to speak business language. They don't understand, it is process that they want to be optimized. Okay. They don't understand this your technical language. They want to see that okay, the payment is going through. I'm seeing my invoice. You should be able to explain that to them. So you should be able to always understand business acumen as a PM. Business acumen, you should be able to communicate that business acumen to your testers and then your developers as well. Make them understand the relevance of whatever they are building to the business, not just for building sake, but they should be able to, and they should be able to relate in the business well. So sometimes what I do is, developers will always be developers, they'll be very technical. So what I do is that I put in the business context and then I put in the technical context as well to help them relate. So that's one of the things you need to do. So as a PM, you have to keep the team in sync. You have to move beyond numbers and metrics. You should make sure that you are building quality, and also you should be able to act as a bridge to providing testers and developers with business context. Business context is very, very important. Business acumen as a tech person is very important because, mind you, you are building solutions to solve problems. And so you should be able to understand the problem. You should be able to understand the space that you are in as a PM as well. So that's for this section. Any questions here? Any suggestions? Any feedback before we move to the next section? Yes, Regina.
Okay, thank you. So, Pearl, please, for someone in a business department
Mm-hmm.
that's also doing project management, that with meaning you are working with IT,
Mm-hmm.
and then you are being the middleman for IT and then the clients.
Yeah.
So get to understand IT language and then translate it to your clients?
Um, I started off my career as a very technical person. I say this thing all the time and then I laugh. Um, I when I started my career, um, This is a girl who was building. I mean, I did my project in in Java. I coded Java like the whole up and down and everything. I was like, oh, I like databases, and so when I come, I want to work in the database team and everything. Well, not knowing God had a different plan for me. So I started my company. I started in the company, and they're like, go and join the supply chain management team, and I'm like, how does a girl who has an IT go and join the supply chain management team? And I kind of struggled with it for some time. But then my boss was so gracious that he was like, no, you are trying to understand the system part of it. I mean, I get it, it's normal, but you need to understand process. Understand the process, then you can translate it into the system. So I was reading, always reading. I bought short courses on supply chain management. Um, at some point, I did CX marketing and all that. So I bought those short courses. I was watching, I was reading. Then along the line, the savior came in AI. So then I was using AI to get context to generate user stories. Sometimes AI might give you wrong information, but the onus also lies with you to be able to check the references AI is picking the documents from. So I always prompt such that anytime I want to understand business acumen on certain things, um I make sure that the references is giving me are trusted sources. Okay. And this project that I'm working on is accounting, like is heavy on accounting. There are times where they'll be mentioning things like general ledger, every all those things, those weird accounting terms. But if you don't understand, you have to go and read about it and come and be able to, because the developer also has to meet requirements or should keep going back and forth. So you need to spend time to be able to read. And one thing I always say, we are youth, we are not old. Yes. Spend time reading. Spend time reading. Spend time reading. We have all the time in the world. Another thing is sometimes we are looking for value. We are looking for monetary value because the bills have to be paid. But just give yourself time. When you spend time putting value on yourself as a person, the monetary value will come when the time is due. So you need to spend time reading. I've bought a lot of courses. If you go and check my Udemy, financial analysis, all these things, you are working as a PM, but you have all these things in your head. Yes, because you have to make sure that the work is delivered. Yes. So those are some. I bought courses. Courses I have a lot. AI. I'm reading every day. I have books, notebooks always with me. So that's how I'm able to understand business acumen.
Okay, thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Please, any question? Okay. So we move on to the next part when we say not all bags are created equal. So as a PM, um, you need to be strategic with the sorting. Um, you should also prioritize defects based on the business value, not just the technical severity. Okay. So as for the testers, as for the QA people, they there. Pim, pim, pim. If they see bag, they'll raise alarm. If it's big, if it's small, they'll raise alarm. But that is where you as a PM also come in. You should be able to decide which one can be based on. You should be able to understand the technical impact and then the business impact and then how it impacts your users. You should be able to be strategic when it comes to that. As a PM, that's one of the things, strategy. So you are not just a manager. It's like it comes with the word product manager. You should be able to balance all these things. You should be strategic with it. So maybe if you have a bag, let's say payment is not going through, why then do you go and then make the product go live if the payment is not going through? If maybe that is one of the core functionalities of the application, you just killed the market value of your application. But maybe if I can, maybe the button, okay, the button, maybe the text in the button is not positioned well. But if I click on the button, it's the payment still goes through. Then that one is not an issue to say that okay, the application is not going live or that feature is not being deployed to go live. So you should be able to be strategic when the testers identify defects, and you should also keep the business impact as well. So there's priority over severity. You should ask yourself, how badly does it break the system? If it's breaking the system, then no. How much does it hurt the user or revenue? So you should be able to ask yourself these two questions when you have to, when bugs are being spotted in by the tester. Okay, you should make sure that you are putting out a quality product. Is it hurting revenue? Because these are three things you are thinking about. You're thinking about the user, you're thinking about the system, you're also thinking about revenue at the same time. So you should be able to prioritize, and then you should also understand the why. So use backlog grooming to explain why bugs should go into the icebox and protect the launch um, whilst scheduling. So if there are any questions here, please let me know. So I want to put you to the test because I put a trick question here and I was expecting a question. So who can tell me what backlog grooming is? Emmanuel, do you want to help us? Anyone?
Um,
Okay.
did you what was the question?
So I wanted to know if you know what backlog grooming is.
Backlog what?
Grooming or
Grooming.
backlog, yes, or backlog refinement.
Oh, okay. Sure. Most especially backlogs. Okay. The word backlog.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly it's when you have a project and you're managing a project, and then um you with your developers or your UI experts, they are working on their project. Always you set timelines for them
Mm-hmm.
to actually deal with a particular section of the project so that you know that at this schedule you are at this level.
Yeah.
Now, when the developers are working on their projects, sometimes if you do not really structure your things well, or they don't give you accurate times for you to use to prepare your schedules for them, they end up not going according to your schedules. Okay, so let's say this first week they are supposed to complete, let's say, the login page. There is an issue with, maybe they have a major challenge and they don't update you, and when it is time for them to give you the update that, oh, we are moving to this level, they come and tell you that no, they can't because of this what's it called, this major issue in their back in their code. It then forces you to make a backlog of all those products. So instead of finishing this product or this phase of the project, you now end up having a backlog. So which meaning all those things that you have not been able to complete, you have to schedule, or you have to put it in. That is where the backlog conception comes in. You have to backlog all of them so that you reschedule upon them when and how you can be able to fix all of those issues before you are moving on to the main agent. So in terms of backlogs, that is what I know and what I can talk about. I hope I answered your questions
You've
and
answered
it's
the
well noted.
question perfectly for me.
Thank you.
Perfectly for me. Yes. Okay. So, as Emmanuel said, life happens, especially when you are building products. You might have your timelines and say, oh, maybe by the end of the month we are going live and all that. But things happen, and maybe the task that you were supposed to complete within a few weeks or few days now become like a week's thing, and then now you have to push them. Okay, you should be able to have like regular sessions to be able to clear the backlog. Okay, you can move forward. I mean, some features are such that okay, you can move forward with the backlog, but it will still come back and catch up with you. Okay, so you should be able to know where we call something the ice box. The ice box is like maybe these are maybe issues of less priority, so we'll come back to it. But sometimes we'll come back to it. It can go back and come and bite you in the leg. So you need, as a PM, you should be able to groom your backlogs, or you should be able to refine your backlogs such that they don't affect your schedule. You should avoid deferring issues, because yes, the tester will point it out to you. But if you want to build a, and you know, it's up to you, the PM, to say, okay, let it be done, or it should be done before it's shipped out. Okay. And so you should be able to know how to manage the backlogs to be able to build quality products. You should not try and keep a lot of issues in the ice box, because those have a tendency to come back and come and bite you. So that's what we call backlog grooming. And as a PM, it's one of the things you need to understand. So we've spoken about being strategic with the sorting. You should also understand, you should know your priority versus your severity, and you should always be good with backlog grooming to be able to build good products. As we said, not all bags are created equal, but as a PM, you have to be very strategic that you are meeting business value, you are meeting revenue, you're also meeting the users' satisfaction as well. So as PMs, you are in a very dicey situation as well. Yes. So that's the next thing. Any questions before we move to the next one? We're almost done. Any questions on the backlog grooming? Okay. All right. Go or no go, signing off risk. So as a PM, one of the things you need to know, or you need to have, is data analysis skills, because you are doing research, you are taking customer feedback. I mean, the sales people and the marketing people would go, they'll still bring the feedback to you. You should be able to make data driven decisions. Okay, you should have significant data to make your decisions. You don't make decisions based on emotions. Okay, you should have the risk reports. Okay, you should be able to review the test summaries. You should be able to evaluate the known issues against market expectations. So you need to be very strategic as a PM. Very, very strategic. So one of the things you should not play with is the testers risk reports. Testers will always blow alarm of things. And yes, we need to listen to them, because they stand for quality. Is we need to be able to match that risk with the market value. If you know that this thing you are shipping in, maybe you've promised your users that, oh, by the end of the month you are going to get, if there's a big bag that you know that is going to cost you, please, I beg you, it's even better off than you didn't even ship the product at all. So the tester's risk reports is very, very important. You should make calculated decisions. As I said, you are not using emotions to put out product out there. You always make the final trade-off of decisions based on the time, the quality, the scope, and everything. And so every decision you are taking for the product should be a calculated one and should be a very strategic one. I mean, no product goes out error free. I mean, definitely there'll be some hitches here and there. That's why we have support to be able to fix those issues. Yes. So you should be able to make calculated decisions as well. You are a gatekeeper. You provide a final sign off for each product. And so you should be able to ensure that the product meets the corporate strategy and meets the criteria in which users would be okay. Your team members are being heard, are not working under stress and all that. You should be able to, you are gatekeeping the whole project. You open and close the door for that product. And so to be able to ensure that you are sending in the right product out there, you should know when to open the door and when to close the door as well. And accountability. So if the product ships with known risk, the responsibility will be on you as a PM. Who made that decision? The PM, because you are the CEO. You take all the responsibilities. So it's not that you are just doing things in a rush. Your credibility is also on the line as well. And so you should also consider that when you are shipping off projects. Please, any questions around here? Any suggestions? Jojo. Hi, Jemima. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
afternoon, sir.
Yes, it was morning, still morning. Okay.
Okay, where I am in Nigeria,
Oh,
it's
okay. It's
12, so it's
afternoon.
afternoon.
Okay. All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. Any questions? I think Jojo is off the call. Okay. Any questions? Any feedback? Any contributions? Anything to add up?
No, no, I don't have. But I'm learning new things because I'm a QA tester.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I'm seeing how like the project manager's decision influences. So like the bugs I bring out, like all the bugs I find, doesn't mean that it's every one of them that is going to be answered to immediately.
Yeah.
Because you said they have to follow the business IQ,
Yes. Business IQ
right?
matrix.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yes. So
I'm learning new things.
oh, come again.
I said so I'm learning new things. That's what
Oh,
I
good,
said. I'm
good.
learning new things.
That's great. Okay. Yes. And if there are no questions, we'll move on to the last slide. We are done. Okay. So the PM's quality checklist. You should be direct, you should collaborate, you should decide. Okay. So that's basically what you do as a PM every time. Okay. You I mean, I get the pressure sometimes. My bosses will come. Pearl, we need to meet the clients. We need to demo. Boss, the thing is not ready. If we go and demo, it is my face that will be at stake. So you should be able to stand your ground. on some of the things as a PM. It is not ready. It is not ready. It is not ready. The tester has told you it is not ready. You have to make sure that it's not ready. Fine, yes, there are, you should be able to decipher. I've said this over and over again. You should be able to decipher between the market value and then the product that you are sending out or that feature that you are shipping out. If it is not ready, please don't ship it out because your integrity is at stake. Okay. You should direct, not detect. Not detect. So you should focus on communicating what and why clearly to the team so that they can execute how. Yours is to communicate directly to them. You should, if your communication is not clear, or right from the inception, if the communication is not clear, if you don't make them understand what the user actually wants, I'm sorry, you will not build a quality product. And users can be so infuriating and frustrating sometimes that sometimes as PMs we have to deal with the users. So PM, sales and marketing, and those in the customer experience space. If you've had to deal with like an infuriated customer on a product, sometimes you even go and then they'll tell you that no, we are not moving forward with this project again. And how would that make you feel as a PM? All these things you should be able to communicate with them because they are not interfacing with the customer. You are most of the time. You are seeing the customer reports and everything. So you need to explain to them clearly, like, guys, the work you are doing is not helping the business. You should be able to, when it gets to that point, you should be able to communicate it clearly. We need to do this, need to do that. You should also be open to suggestions from the team as well. Some features, I mean, if you move heaven and earth, they cannot be done in the time frame that they want it to be done. You should be able to communicate that to your customer as well. So you should be very direct in your communication. Communication skills as a PM is very important. You don't use emotions, you use data, you use um you would need data to be able to make decisions, not emotions. And it's a very dicey position to be in. You should learn to collaborate with testers. Don't micromanage. Me, I hate micromanaging. I don't like that. So you should be able to trust your testers, their technical expertise, because they are seeing the flags and they are pointing it out to you. Okay, and so you should be able to trust them. And you should also know that you are also the final voice when it comes to quality. And so you need to collaborate with your testers. You should not fight with them. You should also be that bridge between the testers, always fighting with the developers. Yes, because I mean, that comes up if you don't communicate well as a PM. Okay, the developer will say, oh, but it was supposed to be like this and I've done it, and the tester comes and says that no, it is not supposed to be like that, it's supposed to be done like this. So right from the inception, your acceptance criteria on the requirement documents should be very clear. Should be very clear. If you have a team where testers are fighting with developers, then PM, you should watch it. Then PM, you're not doing your work well. Yes, you should decide, not delay. So as I said earlier, you should use data driven insights to make firm decisions and then move the business forward. So you are always thinking about the user, thinking about your team, thinking about business, and thinking about revenue as well. So these four things need to be balanced based on data driven insights, not emotions, and not spontaneously or just by, you just get up and then you're like, okay, let's do this. No, they should be data driven um, decisions. To wrap up, you are a PM, you are not a tester. You are a quality architect. Okay. I'm not saying as a PM you should go and write test scripts. No. but you must communicate your requirements clearly and always give a good acceptance criteria. You should communicate the fields, you should communicate the features, the expectations of these features clearly with business acumen. Okay, I'm just wrapping up what I'm saying. With business acumen, you should make your testers and your developers and your team members understand the impact on the business, on the product they are building, because you are solving problems. Okay, you don't micromanage the test cycle. That's one of the important things you need to do. Allow testers to do their work, because that risk report is very important to you. That issues log is very important to you. Okay, to be able to create the quality product and still stay visible. And when data is in, you must be ready to make the hard call. You must always be ready to make the hard call. If we are shipping and it has to go tomorrow and the system is not ready, it's better to call it off than to ship a faulty product that would harm the user or affect the business in the long run. Thank you very much. Any questions, any submissions? I'm done for the day. Okay, Stephanie, so have I answered all your questions? You wanting to explore the product management space. Is it interesting enough?
Yeah, yes. Okay, so with so far everything we've said, like all the things you talked about, communication, strategy, and everything, and I'm like, that's what I do every day, even though it's not in the tech industry. This is what I do every day because my role, I have to be in constant communication with photographers, videographers, and I am the face that the customer or the audience are in touch with. They don't know the videographers, they don't know the photographers. All they know is you, it's me. So all that you said, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So my question in a way doesn't relate to what we are doing right now. That's why I haven't even asked or anything because I wanted to ask. So with all of this and as someone that is new and trying to go into this, what would be the best way for me? Certification. For certification, I'm aware of certifications I'm supposed to take, learnings I'm supposed to take. But to say getting an internship role is quite not feasible for me and all such things. So yeah. So my question was like after the session I'll slide into your DM for my question. But I don't know if anyone is interested. Maybe you can take it.
Oh, please,
Thank
please,
you.
please. I mean, you can go ahead, but in terms of certification, I'll be honest, it's not something I've considered. As getting a certification to be a PM, and so I'll have to do some research on that and get back to you because I, for one, have a big goal of becoming a information systems auditor. Yes, so P being a PM is how would I say is a is a road. Okay, Emma, do you want to help?
Yes. When it comes to PM certifications, it's a long road. Okay. Um, for newbies, this is what I will recommend because there is a global certification body for project management. They call it the PMP, the Project Management Institute, PMI, and they do a lot of the certification. There are different levels of the certifications. So the basic ones that mostly people go in for is the PMP, the Project Management Certification, PMP. But before you get there, it's one certification that For you to even start doing that, you have to get the basic is I think 2 years real world
It's 3 years.
experience. I think 2 or 3 years,
It's
yes.
3 years.
Real world experience, 3 years, okay, before you can even take up that certifications. However, there are normal certifications that you can even do, online certifications, even before you go and try the main PMP certifications. That could be the Google certification in PMP in project management. Those ones you can do them online and then get the certifications. Then from there you can even tackle the global certifications. And it's a global body. When you do your certification, you come and join your community. Yes, and then you can take the absolute different levels because they have different levels of certifications in the PMP too. The associates and then the higher levels. Yes, so in terms of certifications, they are there. If you are ready, you can join them. Thank you.
Yeah. So I've also, as a beginner, I put a roadmap link in the chat that any one of us can check it out. If you also want to be a QA as well, I'll put that one also in there before we we end the session. Yeah, so in terms of certifications or in terms of where to start from, I feel like the roadmap site would help you on where to start from. They give you basic information about what a PM should do, how to go about it, and I mean the different stages that you get to as a PM or resources. Okay, yes, and then as a PM, please, there's a difference between a product manager and a project manager. That one day you should know about it. A product manager, you become a product owner. Yes, you are under the project management space, but you become a product owner. But you use project management skills to be able to execute or make sure that your projects are being shipped out. Okay, it's like to have project management knowledge is also very important. So yes, if you check the PMP sites, you, as Emmanuel said, you can get all that information there, all that information there, the requirements to write the exams, the different types of exams that you can write, and all that. You can get all of that there. But I'll also do some research and also come back to you on where to start from. Yes, that's why I started my experience. I started the session with sharing my experience, telling you that it was a role I was just handed in. It's not something that I just wished for it, but it's not something that I plan to do in the long term. Yeah, so I'm sorry if I don't have the answers for you. Yes.
Oh, thank you very
You're
much
welcome. So
for
we'll,
that.
we'll, we'll take it
Emmanuel,
up.
thank you also.
Yes, from there.
Okay.
I'll, I'll get back to you with the information you need. Okay. Please, on this note, if there are no questions, would urge you to follow our social media channels. Um, check out our website. So I'll put our website there. It will give you access to all our social media channels as well. Please, 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 please do well to share and spread the word about Test Freak. Very, very important. We also have some job roles there. We have a blog. And if you want to be a member, you can find all those details there on our website. If you want, if you don't want to go to the website and you want like a person to talk to, I'm here. We have Emmanuel here. Emmanuel is in charge of partnerships, and yes, okay, yes. So Emmanuel has put links there, and we have Judith, that's our community admin as well, and I'm the community lead for Test Week. It's a wonderful community that we are building. Yes. And so you can join the WhatsApp community. We have some upcoming programs. Yes. And the upcoming one that I can talk about is our football match that is coming up. That is all over. And so if you want to join the testers team, yes, please feel free. You find all the details. Let me know if you want to reach out to me. Please do, and then we take it up from there. Eh, okay. Okay. So quick feedback from the session. How's the session been? What do you think we should improve? Um, and then we assess if we could take it up from there. Quick feedback. Just a quick feedback in 2-3 minutes. Okay, so you're excited. Judith and Emmanuel, they are excited. Oh. So I think we should keep doing this.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
That's very good to see.
Yes,
I
they are
can see that.
excited. So yes. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. It was nice. It
Thank
was
you so
nice
much,
and
Pearl.
Well,
interactive.
thank you for such a wonderful
Thank
presentation.
you. So,
And thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for the opportunity as well. I do not take it for granted.
Okay, then.
All right.
alright.
Have a lovely, lovely weekend, everyone.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. So
Bye.
bye.
Bye, Michael. Thank you, Michael.